We are continuing with Mark chapter 15, and we're going to look at verse 16 to verse 32, but I want to do this one a little differently. It's a passage about Jesus being treated very badly, and so instead of trying to pull things from it and see what we can learn, I'm going to read the passage a little bit slower today, and I want us to take time to just grieve and mourn and really feel what Jesus goes through here. Just take time to really experience it again. I remember when The Passion of the Christ came out, and very controversial for being so violent, and yet the flogging and the crucifixion, probably the closest portrayed to what actually happened with Jesus. And so sometimes we can just rush through these passages and we can talk about the crucifixion and the cross, and it just becomes such a simple, subtle thing. So just as you listen to this today, just be broken, be shattered, be brought low. This is sad stuff. Yes, it brings life. Yes, it was necessary, but this is Jesus, the Son of God, and what he went through for us. The soldiers led Jesus away into the palace, that is the praetorium, and called together the whole company of soldiers. They put a purple robe on him, then twisted together a crown of thorns and set it on him. And they began to call out to him, "Hail, King of the Jews!" Again and again they struck him on the head with a staff and spat on him. Falling on their knees, they paid homage to him. And when they had mocked him, they took off the purple robe and put his own clothes on him. Then they led him out to crucify him. A certain man from Cyrene, Simon, the father of Alexander and Rufus, was passing by on his way in from the country, and they forced him to carry the cross. They brought Jesus to the place called Golgotha, which means the place of the skull. Then they offered him wine mixed with myrrh, but he did not take it. And they crucified him. Dividing up his clothes, they cast lots to see what each would get. It was the third hour when they crucified him. The written notice of the charge against him read, "The King of the Jews." They crucified two robbers with him, one on his right and one on his left. Those who passed by hurled insults at him, shaking their heads and saying, "So, you who are going to destroy the temple and build it in 3 days, come down from the cross and save yourself." In the same way, the chief priests and the teachers of the law mocked him among themselves. "He saved others," they said, "but he can't save himself. Let this Christ, this King of Israel, come down now from the cross, that we may see and believe." Those crucified with him also heaped insults on him. Just taking a bit of time to remember everything that Jesus went through. Not rushing to the conclusion, not rushing to the good news, but realizing that at the heart of it all, a man was stripped and beaten and mocked and bruised and bloodied and brought low and embarrassed, and had people turn their back on him, and had people shout for his death, and had people desert him. And Jesus went through with all of it. And he did it for you.